So I'm at the top of the tower here, and I looked it up. The crow apparently flies away when it gets damaged, so I assume what happened earlier. Um, and this whole thing has been a kind of a fuck up. But earlier, when I was attacking the crow, I got it to the point. So I massively overkilled it, basically. Um, but the problem is that it should have flown away and it didn't. And it's really hard to respawn back in, and frankly, there's not much point. It doesn't give me anything. But this is the tower. Now, I want to take you through this a bit. I'm not necessarily going to repeat the whole thing. And once you get up to a certain point, you can get your progress saved by the elevator will follow you up all the way through, basically. But let me just go back down to here. Well, I'm tempted to reset the whole thing, but I won't probably do that. So we did the basement last time, and we started working on the tower itself. And if you switch around, you know, and I've been storing. Oops, I'm still in creative mode. I've been storing things in here as far as the treasures go. I don't think I need the glider anymore, so I'm going to take that off. Okay, so I'm just going to store things in there for the most part, and I guess here. And I think we'll be able to handle carrying all this manually. But, and this is cool, a giant thing. Okay, now let me just show you this first of all. Once you get this thing working, it basically works to whatever floor you want it to. Now, when we're coming up here, you know, the first obstacle you encounter is this. And I've done this one numerous times. If I go to Y, you'll see there's a hole here. So standing right in front of the door, let me show you exactly. If you like right in front of the door and you go Y, oops, I keep pushing T, you fall. Not a big deal, but if you go slightly off, go back to here, it actually avoids that. Then you can climb up on other things, and get up to the next level. And your goal essentially is to go up a series of these levels. Boy, this is. So we need to get around this door. That's the obstacle in the light world, if you will. So you would just come around here. And I try to do this without relying on the steeplechaser mod or perk. But you can come up here now. Actually, if I were to go here, our first stop on this elevator, this saves me up until the second floor. And, you know, you can always loot things along the way as well, which I think I mostly did. But if you then go up to the next level, you go up to this one. And this is just single step jumps. No problem. You get up to here, you press Y again, and you can go up to this floor. Okay. There's no enemies on this. This is all parkour. I looked this one up because I can like easily traverse that. But in here, in order to get up to here, you can like actually, without the steeplechase, you can jump and go to the other world, and then you can go up to here, and then you jump like, whoops, over here, I guess, and over to here, and then you can jump up here or whatever. Okay, so that's the downside. So, but the good news is you can go back into the elevator, and I can go up two floors here. So this is how you do the tower. And then you just mount this, basically. And you can click it however many floors you want to go up. Now, I've done the whole thing, but I'm just showing you how you would do it if you hadn't done the whole thing. Okay, and we can just kind of go like that, and then here we are on this floor. Okay, so then you would get your elevator up to this, I guess this is the third floor, and then here, you know, you go up to here, and then you would, this one's kind of hard. This one is kind of hard, but with the steeplechase mod, it's actually very easy because I can just literally walk this up without switching. But what you would do is you would switch you jump and then switch, jump and then switch, and then you're up to this floor. Okay, and then you go. So a lot of the time, each level is kind of hints at the direction you should go by having little features. Like this one had the staircase that obviously. This one has this balcony window that actually hints that you need to go out the equivalent of this blown up window now to climb up to the next layer. And so we're gonna go do that. Coming over to here, we can even jump on that. And then I think we have to jump over to here maybe. Is that right? And then over to here. Well, that sucks. Anyway, that's how you do the thing. I don't want to die. Go a couple of these. Is this better if I take this off? It goes faster, that's for sure. I think it is way better.
So today we're doing something a little bit different with Lore Launch because we were filming for History on Things all week, and that meant that I don't actually have time to write a script.
Okay, so let's go back up to the third floor and try this again.
And Tartarian's been making something of a resurgence on social media because people will never get less stupid. You would be amazed at how many people I've met in real life who believe in Tartarian, or at least in some form or another this kind of nonsense.
So if I do 3, let me get my popcorn while I'm waiting on that.
I don't know. I don't know what he thinks happened here, but I literally went to r/Tartarian post, it's still there by the way, and said, hey,
God damn it. One second, folks. Okay, got my popcorn, got everything I need. Here we are on the... Where were we? The third level? Don't know why. History. God damn it. I have like a YouTube history. I have such a storied YouTube history. There's so many things in it, but I need to find a thing, but oh fuck, YouTube's fucked up. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So here we are on the third story. And we did this one, and I'm just gonna cheese this one again. We're on the fourth story now. And yeah, so this one was the one with the window, right? Which direction was it again? I think it was maybe this way. Yeah, this way. And yeah. I don't know. There's a way to do this without... I think you land on this thing, and then you come over here, and you go up here. Oh, we got a heavy temporal storm. That's nice. Anyway, then you come up here. And then you go up here. And then you go over here. And then you go up here. And up here. Oh, and then you're basically there. And that's the windowsill that you're basically trying to get to.
Lisa Cook has been removed from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, according to a leak from Donald Trump. I guess that is how we are getting our news now. And this has real ramifications. I mean, it is in line with what Christopher
That's beautiful.
This morning when it comes to
anyway,
Donald Trump creeping, or maybe
then you'd want to jump to there, and, restore that, get the elevator up to there. Oh wait. Where I just was.
This is just one of the latest examples that it
the
has
fuck?
far-reaching implications, and we're going to be getting into.
Well, I think I screwed that up. So I need to go up further than that.
I wanted to focus tonight on what it means for the economy and how that's going to be affecting everybody.
Yeah, you can jump to that, then to there, then to there. Okay, so this gets us up to here, which is the status quo ante. But now we're on the outside, and we need to keep climbing from here. And I think we have to go over to here. There we go. And we go over to here, and up to here, and up to here. Oh yeah, I remember this now. You gotta duck under here, and then you stand up again here, and then you're gonna want to jump to this thing first, and then up to here, and then over to here, then up to there, and then where do we go? Where do we go from here? Over to here, I guess. That one's kind of scary. And then we're up to here. We got to jump on this thing first, and then this thing, and then over to here, and we're there. Okay, now we're up to this level. And then this one, we need to get up to here, basically. Okay. I need to get up to here, I think.
Economic activity, rates being cut now would help because tariffs are inflationary and cutting rates would
I'm gonna go back to the world. Okay. So I need to get up to here, basically.
And so, just kind of give you the basics on how this works, because obviously there's been a lot of, we discussed on this channel a bunch, as threats about firing Jerome Powell. The Fed is not just kind of a making decisions by fiat.
I don't remember how this one works, but you got to get up there. Is it over there, maybe?
The board has been split, like, mostly largely in the Powell camp, some minority members of the board in the we actually should cut rates camp. So, you know, how does Cook kind of fit into that camp?
Well, I think that the broad point is the important one, which is that Trump has made Jerome Powell the centerpiece of his anti-Fed campaign, and is very mad at Jerome Powell for in his mind,
probably this way.
interest rates kind of on his own. That's the picture that Donald Trump wants to paint. This is something that he can do.
Let me try going up here.
Jerome Powell wants to. The Federal Reserve Open Market Committee is the body that kind of sets.
Somehow I need to get over to there.
That's a group of people, and they are kind of.
And again, if I had if I didn't have this perk, I wouldn't feel so guilty.
Two people dissented and said no, we should cut rates when they were held steady. That's not something that's happened for a very long time. Powell specifically is very focused on getting everyone on board and making sure that the decision that they come out with represents as close to the opinion of everybody on the committee. And so this is really about not about Lisa Cook. It's about a broad-scale pressure campaign against the Fed and their interest rate setting body.
And so the idea here, I guess my question is, firing her, I mean, well, there's sort of two sides to this, but like on the actual rate cutting side of it, she's just one person on the board. Like, what do they think they're getting out of it? Hoping that they're going to be bullying the other members of the board to get in line, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the idea, and I think that the other thing.
Let's see, can I get up on this thing?
That, the kind of the headline right now, I would say, is that Donald Trump claims to have fired, because it's an open fact of law whether he has the authority to do this, given the information that we know about Lisa Cook's mortgages. As I discussed a lot by you guys, the president does have the ability to remove Fed officials for cause. Whether or not having two primary residence mortgages is cause for being fired from your job, I think is a very open
I think I can just jump from here to there.
Very quickly, I would not
Try
be
it again.
surprised to report tomorrow morning.
Bulwark Takes is sponsored by OneSkin, product I've been slinging for a while now, so much so that I've had I think a couple of friends that have caught strays from me about how they need to be using OneSkin, either for their face and their wrinkles, or for their scalp and their thinning hair. Taking a little heat over that. Sorry for the real talk. If you don't want me coming after you like that,
Okay, there we go.
OneSkin
So you can jump onto that thing. It just takes some gumption. Okay. If that happens, you can just use the elevator to get back up.
Crepey skin can be creepy, I guess. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy. Their products are certified safe for sensitive skin. Dermatologists tested and approved by independent testing platforms. The cleanser and topical supplements can all be used with other products or treatments and easily fit into your current skincare routine. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company that focuses on the cellular aspects of aging. OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting.
I'm gonna try this again.
For longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off.
I'm like so nervous jumping around here.
At OneSkin.co.
Okay, there we go.
15% off OneSkin.co with code BulwarkTakes.
Okay.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about
So if I were to go back to here, and I'm just gonna kind of choose this one this time, because, well, no, I'll do it legit. It's fine. Okay, and now, okay, we made it to here, and thus we effectively made it to here. Okay, I made it. Come on, guys, I made it to there.
Like on the economic side of things, it's just this one governor. Right? Like, why now are we seeing, gold prices skyrocket and the dollar drop? Like what is the significance of this one seat in particular that maybe is, or not
Come
this one
on.
in particular, but of this move that is greater than just Lisa Cook's and personal.
Well, I think that the reason why is that markets broadly view the U.S. as a safe haven for
Alright,
assets.
let's pretend like I'm back
There's
here.
not,
Okay, so now we're up to here.
until now,
I mean, I made all those jumps
fundamental
individually. I just
independence of
needed to string them collectively together.
kind of largest American
I'm gonna go up
financial
to here. This
institution,
is
the
the
government
ladder
side.
section,
There
the
is a
top of the ladder
premium
section,
in
and we have
dollar-denominated
this
assets
now.
that comes from
And we obviously need to get over to that.
functioning of these very large institutions like the
And
Fed.
so we need
The idea
to
that
basically
even
think of this
incrementally
as a
being
jump
subjected to this kind of
from here to
pressure
here,
or
except for
these
we're
sorts of
gonna
actions, will
get
decrease
some extra
investment
runway out of
confidence,
it by going
and
up
make
to
people
here.
worried about, hey,
See,
is there
like
gonna
that.
be a period where for 2, 3, 4 years, 6 years,
And then we can go 1, 1, 1. I like these 1
make
steps.
sense with reality because that's
What's
what the
that?
president wants, which in economist
Not sure what
jargon,
that light
we
is
call
off to the
persistent
distance
policy
there.
errors,
That's interesting.
which is not something that people think the Fed kind of makes over a long period
Okay,
of time.
and then
But
if we were to go into here,
and so that's why people are
we
saying,
actually have, we're good to get to that level here. And then this one it took me a while. This one you gotta jump up to here.
We have the question of Fed independence.
Oh, that
Whether
sucks.
the Fed is independent and whether they can make policy
Okay,
actions
jump like
without
up to this
fear
window
that
basically.
it's the disfavor of the president, that they will come up with random charges that are kind of unrelated to their work and smear people and bully them or fire them out of the government.
Come on.
Like, if he's doing that,
This jump is
for
somewhat
the
hard.
governor, then that is not a great sign for Powell next, and it's a potential sign for
There we go.
the whole
So you go up to that one.
Fed independence.
Then you're gonna want to aim for this staircase. It's getting a little bit dark out. So you're gonna aim for that staircase, and you're jumping straight forward,
yeah, no, I mean,
right about here, and we're gonna Y in the middle of it.
in your mind has the possibility that Trump would
Okay.
fire Jerome Powell,
And you probably,
6 p.m.
you might get blocked by this,
is now
as I have here.
significantly higher.
And so
It has to be because he's closer to
you can
taking that step.
jump
You have to say.
back to there.
Looking then at the macro here, what's what we've got going on with the economy. Trump does, the other thing we haven't got to today is Trump and the South Korean leader, and today they're discussing closing the tariff deal. Tariffs, at some level to stay.
And then
on
we
South Korea.
go,
So we have these persistent tariffs, they're more persistent than some
let's try this again.
thought they would be after he kind of
That one sucks. That one is, you gotta get the timing perfect, basically.
falling now on this Cook news, increased worries about how, what, on the other hand, we've seen, a decently steady market. Like, how do you kind of balance, how this stuff fits in the macroeconomic?
Oh, whoops.
Well, it's definitely
I pushed T instead of Y. Okay, there we go.
like pulling in two sides of a sheet almost. On the one hand, you have extremely high growth companies in
Okay.
sectors, specifically like
And if you were down here, let's say you get stuck on this one, which I assume you would if you didn't have the steeplechaser perk,
other side, you have
then you can
tariffs and
jump to the other dimension and catch this bottom of that ladder, come up to here, and Y, and you're good here. And I don't remember what level this is, but it's nice and high in the tower. And we've got this thing now. And if you go up to here, and you switch over to here, you come up on top of the tower. So we just did the whole tower, except for the basement thing, which I need to I'm going to redo that off camera and see if my cheating was necessary as a bug, or if that was some sort of anomaly that I just fucked up. But since the guy is gone, since I already beat him. And I did that kind of legit. Well, kind of. He did get stuck on a block. He did get stuck on a block. Okay, but I've now picked this thing up, which is what you need. That's the end of dungeon loot that you need. So I'm gonna go get my other dungeon loot. And we'll just ride this all the way down.
Just like a gold shooting up. So I don't know, maybe this is a galaxy brain thing, but maybe Trump is doing all of this because all of the elderly people that are investing in gold based on the ads on Fox News. Maybe it's like a little, it's like a little, just a little something, a little lanyard for the folks that would have been watching conservative media and hopping on the gold advertisements.
Gold never goes up on good news. That's the one thing you can take away from this. If gold is skyrocketing, something is wrong.
Okay.
Well, we'll continue thoughts tomorrow. We're going to give this out tonight. Appreciate you.
So here we are at the bottom of the building.
Lisa Cook, as you rightly point out, is said to have been
And I need to get as much of this as I can.
whether he has the legal ability to do that and kind of how this thing's shaping up in the courts. But it is news that's rollicking the markets and econ world, and I appreciate you giving us your insights on that.
Thanks, Tim. Glad to be here.
Grab those, grab those. Grab that. One, two, three, 4 more inventory slots. 1, 2, 3. 4. Those are basically worthless. I mean, I guess I could consolidate some
Of course,
sticks.
they all thought Mussolini was farcical giving those speeches, reinstating the greatness of the Roman Empire or something like that. And Hitler obviously was made fun of by many, many people, including Charlie Chaplin. The ridiculousness and the
I like
dangerousness.
a couple of these better.
And maybe it actually helps them, unfortunately. It makes it entertaining. The dictatorship becomes more entertaining.
Okay. So that is going to do it for this dungeon. Now we have a temporal storm coming up in just a minute.
Hello and welcome to Bulwark Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Fuller.
And unfortunately, I still cannot seem to access my elk. I mean, one thing I could consider doing is going into spectator mode over here. By the way, restarting the game earlier was necessary to get the tower to spawn correctly.
Crystal was texting me more than ever last week while he was with his grandchildren. So maybe that's a comment on the grandchildren. Maybe not. I don't know.
No comment on the grandchildren. I have to explicitly and emphatically and truthfully about that. We did have the hurricane,
I mean,
which was out in the Atlantic, obviously had
it's
spillover
just impossible to
effects
see.
at Bethany Beach. So there were 2 days of basically, pouring
But
rain and stuff. So
if I were to go down to the bottom of the world, would I be able to find my elk there?
I suppose. And also the news. Maybe you didn't notice this since you weren't so hard all last week, but the news was not all great in terms of the health of the liberal democracy in America. So
on that point, you returned with the newsletter this morning saying it's not democratic backsliding, it's a march towards dictatorship, despotism, one or the other.
Man, it was
Talk about the biggest picture there.
virtually impossible to see.
A couple of the things that happened.
But I guess if I got close enough in creative mode, I would get
this term democratic backsliding has become pretty common in the last
the light
years,
of
I guess,
my
in the
mount,
US,
I would
but
think.
It really was invented, or certainly popularized to describe the troubles in Central and Eastern Europe, and actually Russia and the former Soviet Union itself after 1989.
Okay, well,
The difficulty of getting rid of the old authoritarian habits, the old authoritarian people, of getting democratic institutions solidly embedded quickly enough in democratic habits. And it's a very reasonable
I mean,
political science.
as far as I know, this thing might be at the bottom of the world. You'd think it would die, though, if it was down there. I'm gonna have to, figure out how to
the impression
spawn in my elk.
and I think it's especially true when it's and why I think it's misleading now to apply it to the U.S. is, this sort of
Can you imagine being in the
from democracy in countries that haven't had it for
devastation
time.
here during a
Don't have its die hard.
temporal storm?
which is perfectly reasonable. And then you'd be an idiot to go to Poland or Bulgaria or something and not spend a lot of time thinking about how do we get rid of those old habits,
Okay.
how do we change them, how do we embed new ones. But that's not the case in the U.S. I mean, in a complicated way, you can say it's sort of like case. In the U.S., we have some old habits that have died hard and that are authoritarian and that didn't go away and are now we're backsliding towards, you might say. But that's not the real story here. The story here is less backsliding and more a genuine, purposeful march towards despotism, dictatorship. I use the terms kind of interchangeably. I don't really. Authoritarianism seems a little too, I don't know, too fancy and too nice almost. And as I said in the piece, there are authoritarian tendencies in every society and every individual.
I mean, should I regen?
Go away. They can be managed. They can be limited. The times they have to be, you know, but
World gen regen 1.
so that's not. That makes it authoritarianism makes it.
Let's see if my elk appears
too
this
much
time.
of that stuff and too little of the liberal stuff. That's true as far as it goes, but that doesn't capture what Trump and his people are.
Doesn't you go through a list of various things that have happened over the past couple weeks? Military leaders, intelligence professionals merged. Critics' homes raided, obviously.
Yeah, I don't see my elk at all.
Major corporations extorted.
That's the tower.
Presidential control of law enforcement, the nation's capital, intensified with promise that will expand to other places. The list goes on. Which of the? I'll give you a dealer's
Can I
choice
end this
there.
storm
I'll go through
with
us.
console commands?
Where do you want to find the most acute for you?
I do think that the takeover of the DC police force, the guard, the use of troops in LA, and then the kind of open-ended promise by Trump that he's just going to do this elsewhere in the country, that's a pretty standard marker. You know, that's from the backsliding. That's Trump choosing to embrace an authoritarian and pre-dictatorial, as it were, method, and then an awful lot of people going along with it, including the entire Republican Party. I mean, that's one thing that strikes me. I said in the piece I was being a little careful. Something like I've heard almost no Republican voices objecting to any of this. I think I originally wrote I've heard no Republican voices objecting to any of these things. And I thought, I don't know, maybe one of them has been objected to by mass, Congress. But it's really kind of amazing.
It is. Yeah, I think on the military thing, NBC and a couple things that have.
Okay, I can do this.
And Trump explicitly
Time
said
add
they're planning to
to
expand this into Chicago and New York. He went on strange Trumpian rant about how all the black ladies in Chicago are very excited, will just really want him to come save
add
them. Which
233.
has some psychological questions, I think, that
Okay.
that would be
So
better
the
for
skin time add
he's doing that.
0233.
New York, there's kind of a subtle Zoran kind of threat there, and how, we'll see what they decide to do. Maybe we'll have to send the military in there. He's going back to Westmore about something that they did Baltimore. I'll get to Westmore in a minute. Like,
Time.
I mean, to me, like, this is what a lot of us that were sounding the alarm had said was going to happen, and warned about. And I think that the playbook here is the most straightforward
Time set.
of all of the things he's doing. And
Let's just skip ahead to
0 was interesting on this point.
400.
In addition to just kind of gathering, whatever military and federal government power in these big cities,
Okay,
by using
that
the
did the
National
trick.
Guard in these other states, he's also kind of undermining this whole Second Amendment. So the other part of the Second Amendment.
Also, is that the guy?
Part of,
No.
The need for
It's not the guy.
regulated militia. Like essentially, the states have these rights to have their own forces, and Trump
A little
is,
bit more
kind of
light here.
slowly just gathering up.
So the
those
reason I'm
forces.
adding that is I just
don't
want my
wanna,
elk, you know?
catastrophize about what that's for immediately, but as you look at
Game
the
mode,
march towards
survival.
despotism, like the combination of that, taking over the cities and also the co-opting of the guard, those go together.
And ice. That probably should have one.
Okay, and the reason I go back to this mode is so I can use the flute.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a huge.
See if that does
expansion of
anything.
ice. A lot of what's happening in DC, it strikes me that most of it.
And it
actually
does not seem to
is
be moving the
basically a
green
giant ice raid
dot.
with some other stuff going on the side, and I think that is so central to the agenda.
And kind of like a fascist play.
Yes.
It's like play acting with ice raids together.
Yeah, totally. No, the play acting part is really striking.
Okay,
It's
well,
the draft
I guess we
release
could
this week, I'll
check
just say,
that
yeah,
out.
I-
I'll take
it's
those.
also ridiculous.
I mean, I made
The Trump, the
50,
tweets and
maybe 40 or 50
rants and,
gear.
getting teased and people
That's nice.
because they're on TV or something like that. And
I mean, there's more loot to be had in the devastation, to be clear. I just
one has to remind
oneself that
Don't really feel like doing
things
it
can
right
be
now.
ludicrous and dangerous at the same time.
I think possibly loading out and loading into the chunk is one option.
Ludicrous is, you know, and maybe it's annoying. It's not healthy for the country, but it's not
3725.
But
Okay.
I went back and read a little bit about the 20s, 30s in Italy and Germany.
If I were to go to Game Mode C and TP, I don't know, 6,000,
speeches attending,
200, 5,000.
And Hitler obviously was made fun of by
Hello.
many people, including Charlie Chaplin. And so it's
Okay, teleported Joseph. What? No, you didn't. Up there, guys.
The ridiculousness and the dangerousness.
And then if I go back,
maybe
TP
it actually helps
back.
Helps them, unfortunately. It makes it entertaining.
TP
Dictatorship
3,700, 200. What was it?
Diary of a Man in
5,000.
was a little homework book reading for people if they want on this point. That was the most.
That's gonna
at
be
the beginning
close.
Of the Trump era, this was something I read. It was really striking to me. It was written by, you know, maybe a John Bolton type. Because he wasn't really in the government, but like a conservative traditionalist type in Germany who was writing a diary about, you know, the barbarians at the gate apparently and how kind of goofy and ridiculous they were. And I know he's got this right. Though, like there was a general impression that Hitler was kind of silly and you know clownish, but like the degree to which it was the case from people inside. This was interesting.
I know something more like that. There we go. Okay.
List here on our
So having teleported away and teleported back,
I don't think I even talked about last week. That's the problem.
I'm gonna follow this thing down to here and see if my elk has
So I'm going to spend a second
reappeared now.
Hurtling writes about it in the Bullhorn this morning as well, and that is the military
Nope,
leaders
just the dead corruptor.
purge item. Just a couple of the examples. There have been more than this, but
Okay, now that
Lieutenant General Jeff Cruz is the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He was removed.
now that it's light out, I'm gonna go down and see if I can find the elk down here.
Of the intelligence assessment about how the Iranian nuclear facilities were not obliterated, like Trump said. It was more nuanced assessment. Air Force Chief of Staff David Alvin, he was kind of pushed out into an early retirement. Again, I guess he had offered some criticism of.
It's very interesting that the elk is just out of range of the time switch ability.
This is a category difference in the bullets, I guess, in an important way, right? That it's like it's not just the regime critics that are being targeted, right? It's anyone offering the set. Right, and this goes back to very early in Excess tenure where he fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and others, really just for the sake of firing it. There was no evidence of, unlike in these cases, they hadn't said anything particularly. Maybe they did when they were before Trump, but they said things that Hegseth found offensive because but they were very careful, honestly, and not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give up on this location
So part of it is
and
getting rid of people
hope that there's some sort of bug with the display of the elk and such that it'll correct itself if I reunite in person. I'll consider coming back there if we absolutely cannot find the elk. But I will say that I did set up a bit of a base up here, and I will look forward to finding my bed up here and being able to... Oh, there's quartz.
Well, I guess we haven't spoken since it happened on Friday. So what just give me?
I mean, one reason why this area works, it's clear, because they didn't bother to spawn anything underneath of it.
Whatever, I don't believe there are any legitimate concerns. If there were legitimate concerns,
and so they can have more fun with the particle effects and stuff without having a huge performance hit.
He's not gonna. They can surveil his house if they're worried he's gonna sneak out with some documents. For all I know, they were already wiretapping his phone. One thing that our friend Ryan Goodman pointed out to me is Bondi had loosened the rules for phone wiretapping.
Okay, I want to go to there.
2-3 months ago, I don't really know the details of this. I don't hold me exactly to it, but he thought it was not impossible that they were doing that, and maybe they've got one sentence somewhere where, you know, who knows, right? And then, of course, there's these weird stories about foreign intelligence. Well, who knows, again, where that comes from. We've been down that road before. So, with the Russians and so forth. So, yeah, he wants to punish Bolton. I don't think we should ever underestimate the retribution part of what Trump's doing. He wants to send a signal to people. You're a real vociferous critic of mine, especially if you worked for me once or knew me a little bit enough to give your
yourself extra credibility as a critic, which Bolton certainly had, as opposed to people who've just been anti-Trump like us. 2015, you're going to get especially targeted, and the rest of you just be a little more careful. I think it has a real chilling effect. I think that part, everyone's focused on Bolton, but
Yeah, I don't know where I put my extra chest either.
I think that just to your point on like the ridiculousness of it, that it's just worth.
Did I not bring an
sitting
extra
on that for a
chest?
second.
That'd be
Like,
surprising.
yeah,
I might have to get my tent bag out. Can I put my tent bag out?
Or we may not. That is like,
I guess I can.
They could just be left open for months. They don't quite ever go to court. They never produce, the affidavit and so forth. But it sort of hangs over, and they're working on it. They've got some worrisome things that they're looking into, right? So sorry.
It's a fair point. No, it's a fair point. And like you could just imagine there are other Trump administration officials wrote books, and it's like it's hard. It's impossible to imagine Mark Meadows, for example, like his home being raided, right? Like it's like on its face farcical that this was necessary, like in this situation. Like, and all you have to do is just think about any basic counterfactual and how they would act if it was a pro-Trump person that like wrote a memoir from the first term. They had some notes or whatever they came up with. And this was,
Oh yeah, it costs. I always forget that it costs hunger to unfurl your tent bag. Okay, so now we're hungry. So that creates a sense of urgency. We do need to get out of here. I'm basically going to beeline for... Well, I'd like to go to Tobias's cave, actually. One way to deal with hunger is to do some damage to an enemy, because if I kill an enemy, I get a small amount of protein from my fresh flesh perk, I believe it's called.
It's telling about where they're going with all this, right? That it's like, okay, we're going to use the DOJ, we're going to hassle people, or to shake them down, maybe we'll charge them, or if not, like, we're just going to create...
Oh, that's where we were. Oops, I'm going the wrong direction.
The Stalin had show trials, of course, famously. I think it was our friend Ben Wittes or someone else that came up with the term, the show investigation. Investigation. The point of it is demonstrating to others what can happen. It's not an actual, sincere investigation of a secret that has gotten out 7 years ago that our enemies are taking advantage of,
Yeah. Do you get a sense for and it's not like you and John Bolton are close friends, but like, what the level of concern is among him or others in that world at this point?
I'm basically trying to retrace my steps to see if the elk
not worried, he didn't do anything wrong.
Ends up being anywhere.
Did something like this, and I think it won't come to trial, and I suspect they may think that too. And Bolton's a tough guy, and he can but look, it's gonna be like, he's got to keep quiet.
Okay, here's that church patch near the entrance.
He's telling him to keep quiet for a while. Now, does John Bolton not being on CNN, once a week for the next 2 months change the fate of the Republic? No, but it's a step, right? It's a step.
Yeah, it's still a chilling effect throughout the entire.
All right, we're out of the devastation.
Like the chill from CEOs. Once you get into the Intel thing next, like a lot of business leaders don't want to speak out. Administrators don't want to speak out. And like there are a lot of. We did it jokingly, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about how my guys Oasis are coming on tour this year, and their band manager told them not to speak out. All that stuff is in individual is not that important, but in aggregate it is.
Yeah, very much. Someone I know with very good intentions, someone I think very highly of, experienced person. I texted John literally on Wednesday and note of, look, I hope everything's fine, and let me know if you want to talk or something like that. And I offered to give him a forum on the Bulwark. I threw your name in there, but that's the entire text.
You are welcome on the Bulwark, John.
And I mentioned this.
Formal invitation.
I mentioned to someone else who said, look, they probably tapping. They probably got his phones, and they probably were tapping already. And I don't know. Do you want to be asked? Want to be called in and asked, why were you in touch with him? Do you know what? And of course, I don't know anything, and I haven't been in that much touch with them, and I have nothing to say if they called me in. But it sort of does make you think for a minute, right? And then maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be talking to John Bolton because he's under FBI investigation. And again, it's the most trivial thing, obviously, with how I talk to John Bolton. Sure. Multiply that by many.
Yeah, well, get rid of the funeral bell before I kill myself. Continuing to gather fresh edibles, though.
And JD
on the way.
And his Kristen Welker interview this weekend, which I did a standalone take on. People want to do that. I'm not going to make you listen to his voice on the podcast today because he was, as condescending.
No, you were excellent.
I
did listen to that last night. You were excellent. indicative and perceptibly so. It's not just that he's a jerk, but he's anyway. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
He's
I'm
clever.
still very much
He's
under
clever
the
at what he's doing. He doesn't
what
want to
feels
defend
like under the
forced
haze of this
behaviors, so he plays a lot of these tricks
ground
where
sphere.
he
Maybe
does,
it's because I've got the lens on me.
lecturing and, of
I don't have it on me. I actually need to. I should have it on me. Is this a meteor? No.
He kind of slips and says we are investigating him. It may have just been a slip of the tongue, but is a bad one. And when you were chief of staff to the VP, if Dan Quayle had said that, you might have said, "Sir, we're going to use a different. You're supposed to say this."
Oh, that's cool. There's some borax.
So that's one. But the other is just that
Don't mind harvesting up a bit of this. Can't wait until I get Vein Miner in this playthrough. God damn. Guys, wait your turn. Guys, go get out of there.
And if we find anything, then he'll be charged, and if we don't, then he won't be, and that's the neutral way to do this. And that's like demonstrating like what they're really doing, which is like we're intimidating people. We're gonna intimidate you, we're gonna investigate you, and
Okay.
maybe you won't be charged, maybe you will, but the punishment is the investigation.
You're so right about the we're investigating. I mean, it wouldn't simply be.
I have like an hour to go on the Clash of Kings audiobook. I'm reviewing that. Man, I can't wait until I get to switch over to my Steel Folks as well. Yes, this dungeon. This dungeon usually has some good barely things. Take that.
Explanation, based on his great experience.
And whatever, I'll take everything.
Law graduate, I suppose. This is how the system works, and we're just kind of looking into this. But the Ed Martin thing puts the light of that, right? I mean, funny how they're just looking into both. They're not looking into all the, as you say, Mark Meadows and the Trump defenders who wrote books, gave interviews, said things that probably actually did, compromise national security in certain ways. The moment they were out of office, or when they were in office, for that matter. To be honest. So anyway.
Not doing a review of the current president's documents that he had in his bathroom, the best I can tell. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I believe that case was dropped on January 20th and 21st. Yeah.
Okay. I think that tells you what you need to know. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Dear Bill Crystal.
Okay.
Family vacation and spending the time texting me about the John Bolton raid. Well, I don't know if that's a sign that you need therapy, but for some of us, the modern world creates some challenges. It's good to find people to talk to. It's good to work through your demons.
All right, let's get out of here though. This is all a distraction in many ways.
You don't want to dump it all on your spouse all the time. I feel that way. And if that's sounding like you, BetterHelp offers therapists that you can talk to in no time.
Okay, so we do get a mining 25 there, another mining 25, and a mining 100. We'll take all of that so we can get to Vein Miner that much faster.
Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/thebulwark. That's better, HELP.com/thebulwark.
Whoa, I almost fell. There's granite down here.
Intel 10% equity stake that the government is taking. I was intrigued by your friend Kevin Hassett this morning on CNBC saying this. So I'm sure that at some point there'll be more transactions.
Okay, there's more borax.
Other industries.
Let me just mark this cave as borax cave.
This morning, how he's happy about that. Their defense of why this is not communism is that they are not actually going to be, taking controlling stake in the company, and there'll be a silent equity partner of the U.S. government. Well, but there's a reason why we don't do this, because there are a lot of other ways for the government to bully, intimidate, cajole Intel, their customers, their competitors. If the President of the United States has an emotional and financial stake in Intel stock price.
This wasn't just like Intel as a company that has a lot of dealings with China and I guess controversially exports or doesn't export, I can't remember, chips of some sort that are important. It was that the
Okay, let's continue
Intel
on.
attacked the head of Intel, right? Who's Chinese or of Chinese origin rice. And Trump saw that on TV, immediately echoed the attack. He came in.
Okay,
and they
so
cut a
I came
deal.
down this
So
way, but
in
here's
effect,
Tobias's cave.
he'd be back
I
in
guess
Trump,
what I
he
should
and the
do
company
is I
would
should
be
go
back
back
in Trump's good
here
graces if he
as
gave
much as
10% of the
possible,
company
then cut over to
to the US
Tobias's cave,
government.
just to see if I can find my elk.
So that makes it even worse. I mean, it's not just the generic arguments against the U.S. government owning 10% of random companies or even non-random companies. It's that
Where did my bone flute
you
go?
need to be
I
nice
just had
to
it.
Trump, or he's coming after your company. And
Did I
not
throw
in some
it?
complicated way that you mentioned, even of going after your
Oh yeah, I accidentally threw it.
customers, Cracker Barrel type thing. He's coming right at you, and the price will be a fairly
Oh, here's
substantial
a fruit tree.
chunk of change.
Oh,
And
speaking of fruit trees,
total silence
definitely need to get back home
ensues
and
in
harvest
the
up my
next
fruit
3.5
trees.
years. I mean,
This
again, it was. I
is
mean, I don't
pear.
know. I really, business
Pear.
community has already been pretty abject. But I don't know, has the Business Roundtable objected to this? The Chamber of Commerce, all those conservative economists? I mean, a few have, to be fair. The real
Yeah, sure, but is there a DC ad campaign? Again, we've done this once before. Like, we were both in this world, right? Like back during the Obama era.
Right.
You had like actual campaigns to push back against what the president was doing. The business community did if they did not like the policy.
And what was the name?
Just
Didn't Obama have some firm that I believe people like us, made famous? I don't know, it was like some solar energy thing, and for some reason.
Yeah, Solyndra. You're thinking of Solyndra.
Yeah, the federal government took a stake in it or helped it out because it was going bankrupt. I can't remember. And that was like an outrage.
No, it was initial. It was one of the stimulus. I'm going. We'll have our listeners fact check me if this is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was part of the stimulus, and that it was like a startup money. It was not the government taking a stake in it or bailing out, but like they made these bets in green energy companies. Some of them succeeded, some of them failed badly. It's tax. So the argument is like taxpayers lost their money, which this is a legit policy argument, like whether the government should be doing this or not. But it's not. It wasn't socialist, right? It wasn't like the government taking over a company. It was the government was investing in these industries, and some of them didn't work, and the money was lost. Right?
And Obama didn't call in the president of Solyndra and say, "Well, if you're nice to me, I'll
we'll give you more."
Yeah.
Just here, Lip Bhutan is the CEO of Intel. I'll get this right. He was born in Malaya, but to an ethnic Chinese family in Malaya. So again, this is like the attack on him is that like
so we'll cross the river and then take a right.
Crypto, asset or whatever. Like Tom Cotton's going after him about this, and now we have to take a stake in the company.
And there's absolutely no change in the icon, no matter what I do with this flute.
It's not just a chilling effect on Intel and their CEO or their customers. It's if you are any of the companies.
Okay, we're gonna take a right now.
The CHIPS Act from
and head toward Tobias's cave.
Now, like a precedent has been set.
Yeah, I might as well stay on this side of the river. It's a little bit faster if I do that. Now we already did Tobias's cave once, but we didn't have the lens.
The government might come in and turn that loan into their desire to have a sovereign wealth fund.
Just on the defense sphere, let's talk about that for a minute. I learned this last week. I don't know this is reported much, so I don't believe it's confidential exactly. One of the big defense firms hired a new consulting firm set up by former Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, very standard kind of inside the beltway thing for consulting, whatever. Presumably Austin has good relations with Senate Democrat, with some Democrats, or whatever, or he knows a lot anyway. Anyway, it's a totally standard thing we can all talk about. Maybe there should be this kind of stricter rules against people setting up these firms and being hired by Lockheed Martin.
All right, let me
anyway, it was totally
get my lens out.
A huge amount of money. They have like 30 other firms on retainer. This wasn't, I don't think Trump personally,
the
but
lens.
someone in the administration knew about this. Maybe it was Hexeth or someone at DoD, and apparently made a tiny fuss about it. And the defense firm dropped, canceled the contract. And so again, just at this level, even right. I mean, again, who cares in a certain way? Lloyd Austin will do fine, But I mean, and his colleagues.
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
That is permeated down. That's not. So people say, well, Trump, you stay off Trump's radar screen, you're okay. No, there are a lot of people who are. A lot of little Ed Martins there trying to effectuate the Trumpist agenda.
Okay, and here is the Tobias Mountains, which is this inexplicably beautiful mountain range. Maybe in a future world sometime I'll build my home right on top of it. That'd be kind of cool. I am very tempted to put a translocator in here. So I can always go see Tobias.
He would serve a short prison sentence and then be sent to Costa Rica. That was the deal. The alternative was that he would be sent to Uganda. Garcia's lawyers rejected the plea deal, filed a new suit this morning, attempting to block the White House from immediately shipping him to Uganda. DHS says he's being processed for removal to Uganda. So that's where things stand as we tape this morning. This person, Kilmer Garcia, has become kind of this lightning rod. Andrew wrote about this morning in the newsletter that Trump has these two kinds of groups that he targets essentially. One is marginalized people you've never heard of, who don't have any power to push back on him. The other is regime foes that can be used as a wedge or as something to push back against that his MAGA people can rally around. Garcia ends up falling in both categories in this case because he initially is former and then becomes the latter. I don't,
I'm not sure to what degree I can modify anything at this part of the cave. Can I make any changes to this rock face? Oh yeah. There we go. I think I can link the translocator up right here.
Get justice, and if Garcia did not commit any of these crimes and was here and it was fine, then the process would go forth, and otherwise he could be deported. That's not what's happening.
The problem is the translocator stuff is on my elk, so I feel like I'm justified here in, at the very least, giving myself this.
An unimaginable way for our country to treat people.
It is, and this is because he won't plead guilty. I don't know that they're so confident if they went to trial that they would be able to convict him of anything, and he hasn't been, to my knowledge, charged in a criminal proceeding with anything at this point, right? He's been charged in immigration court and then sent to this gulag in El Salvador. I mean, any normal administration would be, I've apologized to him and be leaving him alone. Whatever the details of his overstaying his visa, right?
Okay, so link that up. There we go.
This again is very characteristic of
so now we have a way of getting home from Tobias's cave.
People get away with winning against you, if you can. So,
just for what the facts about what happened, because that was kind of murky too on the lead-in. So when they brought him back to the U.S., DOJ did indict him in Tennessee for unlawfully transporting illegal immigrants for financial gain. Right? They kept using the word human trafficking, so I think it sounds people in their mind when they hear human trafficking, they hear young girls or whatever being tracked into sex slavery. But what was really happening, I guess, is he was pulled over when he was driving across the country with other people who were here undocumented, and so that was the DOJ charge. And then fast forward a couple of months, his lawyers moved to have the case dismissed.
Okay, here's where we can't modify any further. But I think that's close enough. I mean, I don't know, I could put some kind of lantern here. But we'll figure that out later. Okay. And bearing in mind, Tobias has a whole bunch of food for me too. And I don't think it spoils. I could be wrong on that. Do I have a bowl? Is there any? Do you have any bowls for me?
And in the Garcia case, now maybe this will just be the one that people know and remember. But
okay, apparently there's no bowls.
There are other cases, other examples of people.
There's a steel knife and a steel cleaver.
That the government has accused of crimes.
Well, I'm going to take that, and I'm also going to, let's take a few of these, how about, let's take 10 of these.
Non-public agreements with the governments of those
okay.
countries, so we don't know under what conditions he would be there. Would he be able to work there?
Let me just munch this down real quick. Now there is this other rickety translocator, but it doesn't seem to work.
Knows a little bit about this, perhaps behind the scenes, saying that he thought there were all kinds of conditions.
Can I build one of these? Oh, I could build one of these. Illuminal divergence manifold, 6 lead plates, 2 electron plates, customizations. Okay. Steel nails and strips. Cooper nickel. Oh, shit.
We also don't know side of these deals.
Yeah,
What is
again,
Trump
I'm getting
getting
more
out
of
of
the
it?
crash to
I
desktop
mean, tariffs has been
error.
explicitly on the table with Uganda.
In the Uganda case,
Yes.
like a lower
Yes.
tariff rate.
Yeah.
Some of these other cases,
Let's
I mean,
restart the
I don't know,
game.
though. This goes back to like the Trump black box of corruption, right? Like, are there
Ooh, we got our first Rustbound Magic to drop,
investments into the crypto
and the Bag of
fund,
Holding,
like
which
buying
I
a stable
will
coin
probably
from
download
Trump,
both of
right?
these.
Like, none
Sorry, I
of
was
this
just
stuff
noticing a few things.
is being done in a transparent manner. So we kind of thrust into now a little bit this Gilmore Brigham Garcia fight because it's happening in Maryland, but also what we mentioned earlier about the militarization of police is the Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Trump has been talking about sending military into Baltimore. Wes Moore sent him a letter basically saying,
Well, I like
"Things are
throwing
bad in
arrows and
Baltimore.
barrels.
Why don't you come to Baltimore and walk through the streets with me?" He's
See,
doing maybe
they
more
did the
version between the Gretchen Whitmer and
the new
Gavin.
version of the game now, and so I'm guessing they're just going to be shooting out a lot of these things. Sorry.
And then Gavin goes on the Sunday shows.
I was
like freaks
sitting
out
on a
and starts
kernel of popcorn. I thought it was some sort of creature.
sending multiple tweets attacking
It scared
him,
my cat,
including
though,
one where
sadly.
he says, "Also, I gave Westmore a lot of money to fix his demolished bridge. I will now have to rethink
Okay.
that decision." I think it's grotesque on several levels and a lie that the money for the bridge came during the Biden administration, so Trump didn't give them anything. Even if it came during the Trump administration, it wouldn't
But
have been
anyway,
Trump to give
the
them money. It
main
would have
thing
been, congressionally authorized money.
is I wanted to
You don't
see
get
if there had been a
punish the people on
response
the
at all
stage
to
because you
the
don't like
X
what the governor
skills.
said on the Sunday show. That would have been
Checking the
maybe
status of X
resoundingly
skills. Now, X
condemned
skills old
in any other.
isn't working yet, but the patch is.
I mean, we're so used to Trump.
And
You know,
I already.
gave him the money. That formulation which Trump uses for everything, my generals, and I did this and I did that. But of course, it's deeply undemocratic and contrary to the rule of law, and I just no one else would have said that.
Okay,
Right?
well,
Literally,
I guess
and
it's
no
the
matter
X
how much,
skills
how high your self-esteem
thing.
was as president, or how
That's
much
fine.
you sort of deep down kind of thought that you should have the ability to do that. There didn't occur to anyone that you would
What is
publicly
this?
say, "I gave him the money, so he should stop criticizing me." When leaving aside the fact that it wasn't even appropriated under his administration, as you say.
Right. And the other thing is just, these counterfactuals get tired, but it's like, and if Obama had been like, "I'm not going to give money to Louisiana to rebuild after a hurricane because the governor said something mean about me on TV." I mean, like, what? It's just it's about the asymmetry, right?
Okay, I guess they're working on that in the background. But
still be talking about that 2 decades later, bringing that up.
Let's go ahead and while we're off here, let's download this Arrow Barrels.
But like the mainstream media would have condemned it.
So we'll go ahead and get this one, 121. Click on that, baby. Go ahead and download that one. And then the slews. I'll do that one as well.
Really, I mean, like Wes is on the Sunday shows, but like they don't like that particular threat is just
And then
kind of in the wash.
No, terrible. I mean, I was thinking you mentioned.
I need to get the Rustbound Magic
Larry Hogan.
one.
Some, and, I don't know,
Okay, so this one is 121. 57 minutes ago. Let's give it a shot. I do love this mod. It adds a whole bunch of creatures though, but we're gonna have fun redoing that mod at some point here. All right, with all those new mods added, let's go ahead and pop into here. So Cooper Nickel,
And a bill signed by the president. Would be nice. I'm not seeing anything that he said on a quick glance, so I don't know.
Nickel
Maybe
vintage story
event.
is an alloy,
just on the politics of
and
handling this. I don't know if you saw any of the Sunday show.
we have to make coke to get it, and then we smelt copper and nickel. We don't have any nickel yet, so we're a little ways away from being able to make this particular translocator. But this is the one maybe instance in the vanilla game where you can use a translocator to get around manually placed. Okay, I am back, and hold on.
I think it was very wise of Ward. I think a very important example. You don't let that sit. It's good. It shows you're not intimidated. It shows you're not
Okay,
any punches,
I'm back,
and you're willing
and
to
we are
get
back
back
in the
pretty
world.
hard when he hits you.
So yeah, we're basically a little ways away from being able to do Coopernickel anyway.
One of our other Never Trumpers, Jeff Duncan, was Lieutenant Governor of
Here's
Georgia.
Tobias.
You might remember, I think he gave a really great speech at the DNC convention that we're all kind of trying to wash from our memories.
There we go.
To not deal with any trauma, but I thought the Jeff Duncan speech was good. I don't think we can blame the L on that one convention speech. And he did something that we'll see.
House of the Dragon Season 2 concluded
All right, here's the
roughly 1
lens.
year ago, and many saw it
Over
as
5
a
centuries
huge
since I
disappointment.
first, so I was young, we both were mere farmhand and a lord's son in his father's library, but at that point he had already turned the room into his own workshop. Sorry, the thoughts well up on their own from time to time. Thank you, my friend. With this, the brief hope flickers on for a time longer, though it always seems to come at great cost. I am so sorry to have put you through all of that, but as it was worth the sacrifice to bring you here in time, I will show you that this price was worth your efforts. What is the lens? It is the first true device he ever made, and from it, like a wellspring, all the other miracles come forth. But what is it truly? What does it do? A window. Can't step through it, but we require information, you and I, more than anything, perhaps, but not enough. Comes to is arrested, blah blah blah. The rot, my friend, the rot returns, and these paltry survivors are not prepared. Even if they were, I suspect our past endeavor should not be replicated. I spent many years searching for the lens, many cold, dark years under the surface and amongst the wreckage. I am no prodigy of science. Much of my life since the old days has been spent tracing what came to Jonas naturally. In the lens, I lean on him once more. I used it to bring you here. Now I will use it to go beyond. What do you intend to do with it? I have theorized and researched much in the dark hovel of mind. The lens, we might put such science into action. There is still work to be done, and when the time comes, I will need your help again. Your unique biology and perhaps lack thereof will prove vital. When Jonas first began his works, he did so with a kind heart and a warm dream. We do not have such luxuries, and what we need is we must. I think I understand. Okay. What was going back there at the devastation? Sorry for all that. Tearing a hole in the world is no simple feat. You tore a hole in the world. Indeed, have you wondered why you awoke again after all this time? I woke alone in that dreadful lazaret. Everyone was gone. The world had shifted. It took me many years to ascertain what happened. Jonas was no help at all. From what I understand, when our grand machine awoke, everything was changed. Those who were nearby were lost, or worse. You and your fellows were lost beyond time, beyond this world. I needed your help, and so I had to poke a hole such that you might leak back through eventually. A desperate gamble, but it paid off. This lore is so complicated, but I love it. In short, you have been summoned by the great sorcerer. What was the terror? A lifelong project for most. My companions and I built it over many years. Alas, many of them did not live to see it pierce the firmament. I do kind of want to make a big tower. What was that monster? A beloved child. Now I understand the dismay he must have felt seeing his creations grow strange. That is my Errol, a guardian and companion created to assist our efforts. She was bound to the tower and lost her mind when the devastation occurred. I grieve for her, but my heart still soars to see her wings in flight. You're quite well known in Nadia. I should think so. I was there when it was founded. They're kind people, or so I assume. I haven't visited since their grandparents' time. You were there when it was founded. You think it's bad now? You should have seen the world in those days. The storms were worse then, and nobody was prepared for the creatures within, let alone the ones peering out of the rifts. Humanity seemed doomed to flicker and fade, another relic of the old world left behind. But we are nothing if not tenacious. In those days, I was not but a lowly worm crawled loose from that lazaret, yet I found a group of strugglers who would aid me. In turn, I told them what I could of building, farming, metallurgy, and the like. In time, we had a new home. Eventually, I decided they would survive just fine without me. I took to learning what I needed to about this world and its new inhabitants. I still keep some contact with a few souls in Nadia, but after the devastation, I felt it was best to keep my distance. What was the lazaret place? That was a truly cursed place. Jonas had begged me to travel there and hold out on as I could. More than once, I wished I had denied him and taken my life at the onset. When the rot seeps in deep enough, even that option is lost to you. So I lay there in my torment amongst those too wealthy or too important to simply give mercy they deserved. I'm sure you've seen the rot's procession. It's getting dark out. It slowly ate away my limbs. By the time I could scarcely see the dim candles or the sunlight through the shaft, I knew it had finally reached my head. All I could do was wait for death. And perhaps I did indeed die. I cannot say for sure. Only that I woke up to a terrible rumbling of the earth and found the rot scoured clean. What was gone remained gone, but I lived. What can you tell me about me? Strangely colored skin, taller than previously, if I recall correctly. Lack of memory before return. Everything else seems as expected. You're the first I've seen. I wonder, will they all share such features, or is each instance unique? Back at the tower, I was able to shift through time. You what? I could slip to the past and see the tower as it used to be. That is simply unbelievable, and yet I can see you are not lying. Incredible. It makes strange kind of sense, though. If my theory holds up, and given your presence in the world, you and others were lost beyond our world, perhaps your time, or lack thereof, spent there has conditioned your body to move more easily and ignore what holds the rest of us in place. Fascinating news I shall have to consider it at length, but if we can use this unusual ability to our advantage, it may be key to our success. You were expecting others? I was delirious in the end, but I believe there were many from the underground who were lost but not perished. In recent years, I've heard tell of strange figures walking the land. Seraphs, they call you. But without seeing one person, I couldn't separate truth from a fairy tale. There were stories of 12-foot giants, 12-foot giants, interesting, watery ghosts, and eyes made of lightning. Who knows how much of that rampant vision was blah, 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 blah. Of course not. You were a normal human once, no offense. I'm not exactly normal myself these days either. What about my old life? It's been a very long time, and my memory isn't as reliable as it once was, but... Blackguard, you were a soldier, one of the best and the worst. A blackguard that fought against humanity for the sake of humanity. You and your companions did what was necessary to keep the order in the underground, but were hated for it. But there were some who respected you for it, myself and Jonas included. We would have failed and perished long ago without your help, I see. Tobias, I've traveled far. Do you have any food? Of course, here, take... Okay, we got some charred spelt bread. Baked just the way I like them. Okay. You have monsters here, yet they do not attack. How is it possible? Monsters? You must be in Charlemagne and the other automatons. Don't worry, they're harmless. What's the worst they could do? Crush my frail bones into powder? I will trust you on that. Okay. I may have damaged Charlemagne. Interesting. You what? Yeah, he'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Tougher than he looks. So what happens now? I'll need some time to figure out how to integrate the lens here. It shouldn't take more than a decade or two. Tobias, please. Alright. Maybe less. We'll see. Natural philosophy is a delicate process, you know. You'd be surprised how much work goes into making new bits and bobs, let alone maintaining the old ones. In the meantime, here's something for your efforts. Plans for your very own translocator. Okay, so we did get these two items, which we need to make that rickety translator. Might save you the trip next time. Okay. Giving yourself a new self, which will hemorrhage, melt, combust, blah, blah, blah. I modified Jonas's work to allow for easy pairing over a great distance, but it needs time to recover its strength after use. Is something about the lens. It's cut off. The gratitude of an old friend isn't enough, I see. Very well. Help yourself to some things in my vault beyond the iron door. Okay, cool. So we do get a reward. So that's the extent of the main story of the game so far. I am gonna go ahead and take this now. And let's see, which iron door was it now? This is his alchemy lab. And I'm gonna leave all the lanterns. I don't need any of those. I'm gonna leave the normal paintings as well. Hello. This door? This door. Nice. Okay. Wow, this is cool. Okay, I love having the large temporal gear. And we'll get the black bronze wrench. I'll take this shield. I mean, I'll just take everything. Nice ebony shield. Can I break that? Yeah, I can grab that ancient segment ornate. Anything in here? We do have a rotten king crown. Lovely. That's a somewhat unique painting. I'll take that. I'll leave the obsidian axe. I will take the silver falx. Golden. Yeah, I'll take those things. They're kind of cool. I mean, it's a neat look. I'll take the axe too. Why not? Grab all that. And then we've just got gold down here randomly. Okay, I can't break that though. Okay, he's got a whole bunch of silver, which is super convenient. Grab those. Grab those as well. Ooh, he's got a bunch of shit in here. He's got another sturdy leather backpack. Yeah, I love that. Clay figurine. Orange leather. Green leather. Gold bits. Okay, we'll take these tables and everything. I may have to come back for some of this. Yeah, we've got all these leathers and things. We'll come back for some of it. Take these meteoric iron ingots. Okay. And there's electrum. And some other goodies down here. A nice gold armor set. Okay, so we'll come back for some of this. Yeah. We'll have to come back for some of this. Okay. And here's the food room and the laundry area. And my sort of Weasley translocator is here. And so let's go ahead and use this. Now, it's conceivable that the elk will just be back here. You know? I wouldn't put it past him. But it is good to be home. I will say that. Okay, let's go ahead and sleep. By the way, I realized when I was doing research about the elk entity spawning situation that I can put the what was I saying? Oh, I can put down Nadia villagers just randomly. It's a if I were to go, for example, to Nadia. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to necessarily show you this in survival mode, but I think if I were in creative mode, I could do that. Let me put some stuff away real quick first. Did I get the bag of holding downloaded? Yes, I did. Okay. So, okay, that is actually the Rustbound Magic bag of holding. Did I download the other one? No, I don't believe I did. Mage Weave bag. It's 10 slots. These are 8, so that's probably the next one I could make legitimately. Let me put this over here. And I need to eat. Alright, let's get these down. I'll put these over next to my linens over here. I really need to build up my home now and expand it. That's cool. I didn't realize that the ground could hold so many of those. Alright, let's get a few of these tools hung up. I do like the general look of some of these tools. Okay. And silver goes where? I don't have a silver pile. Looks like most of our crops are ready. Some good food here from Tobias. Okay, well, we're feeling a lot better there. Let me just swing down over to here real quick and check on these crops. It is getting fall adjacent, I guess I would say. Alright, that's ready there. Cassava is 6 out of 9. That's probably not going to finish. Pineapple's definitely not going to finish, especially that one. Need to build a greenhouse, for sure. Okay, well, I think I put this in my temple for now. And let's put this little guy on it. That's cool. Can I put this? I mean, I could do this display case in here. Oh, I didn't bring the display case. Okay. But I can put this here. That's kind of cool. Okay. Silver ingots can go there. I'll put the gold and silver. Actually, let's bust this up. Actually, I'm going to keep those two. I will bust that up, though. Alright, and then, I'll put this in my clutter room. That's what I've started calling it. Actually, let's put it just right out here. Can I put that down? How about in the display case? Cannot put it in the display case, okay. I'll put it there. Alright. So we've got some tables happening here. I'll put that in there, I guess. Oh, I had a bunch of granite, stupidly. Okay, so if I put the tables in here, that should be good. Okay, I think that is pretty much it for the items that I brought. This weather is dreadful. Okay, we could put this down here. Yeah, we need to get all this out of here too. I'll do that later. Yeah, there's nothing dramatically amazing. I mean, the brass plates are kind of cool. You can just place these on the ground. Oh, I don't think you can. Can I? This might crash. Yep, I was worried about that. It's usually a lot of metal stuff that crashes to desktop. Alright, let's restart the game again.
After such a
1 second,
strong
I'll be
and
right
loved
back.
first season, what went wrong with season 2? How did a season made by the same creative team end up with such a strong clear. But rumor has it that HBO wouldn't allow his
Five dragons with him.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Survived a century later, but he
I don't know why the sound keeps being weird.
admitted to the idea of the conquerors having three
Okay, so let's see. I guess we can try blowing this.
with just one pregnant mama dragon, or
Doesn't seem to
maybe
be
just
working.
dragon
So,
eggs, but instead
yeah, I just don't know what to do about the elk situation. I guess I could look up. I was trying to get into the console commands a bit on this. Let's see if I can figure this out using console commands. Elk, vintage story.
the dragon is said by the small folk to have lurked on Dragonstone even before the Targaryens came. So the weird math of Aenar going from 5 dragons to 1 dragon, plus the 2 new ones, and the information about Cannibal being a cannibalistic dragon that eats other dragons that may not be a Targaryen dragon, all come from the same book and are all part of the same expansion of Valyrian dragon.
Okay, I think what I'll do is I will try to create a new elk.
Is for those 4 dragons that Aenar brought with him having died in that 100 years is it can be something big
Okay,
the historians
so in order to do that, I'm gonna go up to this guy, minus 190, minus 500.
Maesters would have told us about that. So it's got to be something a little more on the down low. And I think the Cannibal, or perhaps other pre-Targaryen dragons, getting into some tussles with Targaryen dragons.
Okay, so we should be right here.
Be something that the Maesters
There's that weird patch of land that
Targaryen that we hear about, keeping a
doesn't get any light for some reason. That's just so weird. And it's like in this weird shape too. It's like there's shadows or something happening.
or at least not share the idea that they didn't control all the dragons on
It's like it's almost like there's some
with the dragon they didn't control.
massive shadow creating object like right here. But that makes no sense. Anyway,
The mere existence of the cannibal is probably the explanation for only 2 new dragons having been born who lived to adulthood. The cannibal is known for preying on the other dragons of Dragonstone in the time of the dance, so perhaps he's always been doing that before the
Okay.
conquest. And he's been eating the other Targaryen baby dragons, and that's why it was only Rhaegar and Meraxes who survived to adulthood. I mean, either it was the case that only 2 Targaryen dragons hatched in over 100 years.
okay, so I'm gonna need gears.
What's happening to the hatchlings on Dragonstone? And then we're told, yeah, there's this big old nasty dragon on the far side of the mountain who loves to eat baby
Okay, whoops, I
dragons,
gave myself way too many.
dragons' eggs, and
Okay,
small
so
dragons, and he does so regularly. Small folks say he was there before the Targaryens, and that's why he hunts the other dragons.
okay, I need a saddle and a bridle now. Let me just correct this real quick.
Together.
So I had like 161 gears, so
Alright, so the final piece of the puzzle, and this is a very mild House of the Dragon season something or other spoiler banana, is that Cannibal is said to have done a flyby at Corlys Velarion's funeral, which, come on folks, it's bound to happen sooner or later. The funeral, that is. I mean, he's pretty old, even when the show started, so this also ties into the mystery of how Adam Velaryon was able to clean the dragon's season, despite the fact that his mother was not Rhaenys Targaryen, and thus he apparently
alright, whatever.
does not have Targaryen blood. Just
So I'm just gonna stick with this many. Okay,
and whatever
now,
bloodline is
oops, and I need to get rid of these.
from, but we have no information about her. Now,
Shit.
famously, and this is true in both show canon and book canon, House Velaryon is descended
God damn
from
it.
the blood of old Valyria, but they were, never dragon riders. So it is unclear if someone with Velaryon blood can claim one of the Targaryen dragons without having
Okay, now we need to go back to creative and get a bridle
lineages and all
and a
that.
saddle.
Could be wrong, and it could be that anyone of Valyrian descent, including someone of House Velaryon, can bond with any Valyrian dragon, and the mystery of how Adam claimed to see smoke ends there. Now, the next most simple answer is that Adam could
And I need the sturdy saddlebags too.
Velaryon and Targaryen did intermarry, probably, several times before the conquest, and thus the Velaryons of Corlys and
Okay, let me try this again.
have Targaryen blood. The mother of the 3 conquerors was
Okay, so let's go find the new elk now.
his sister's part Velaryon.
It should be back here somewhere, roughly.
Already half Targaryen,
Here it is.
Importantly, on her mother's
All right, let's get the saddle on it.
mother was a Targaryen woman who married
Hello.
a Velaryon man who married into House Velaryon, and thus it may be that the main line of House Velaryon has Targaryen blood. Unfortunately, we don't know if the main line of House Velaryon descends from one of Helena's siblings who would
Okay,
share
there's the
that
bridle.
Targaryen mother, or from one of
And
her
there's the saddle.
cousins or other relatives.
Okay, now I need to get a
Targaryens and Velaryons intermarried
medallion, and I'm gonna give the same one that we had, and then I'm gonna give myself a saddle blanket and a lantern as well. I think it was something like that.
Thus, Adam claiming sea smoke really isn't too hard to explain. But then there's this juicy little detail.
I don't remember which one it was. It was something like one of these. I'll do that one, and then a lantern.
Once again,
And I believe I just had an iron lantern.
suggesting that this is just a poetic invention of singers and storytellers. But as they say on Ancient Aliens, is it possible that the Valerians living on Dragonstone before Targaryens came there, the ones whose dragons can
Okay, and that actually is displaying correctly. Oh, and we've got our first Rustbound Magic monster, which I gotta remember that those guys are gonna be around now. Okay, and now our new elk is good. Now, the last thing I'm going to do in creative mode here is we're going to give myself temporal gears and such and make up for the fact that we lost a few of these. Machine parts, metal parts, I guess it is. Where are they? Metal. Here we go. Give myself a bunch of those. And then let's give ourselves a few of those. One of those, a couple of those. Glass. Slab. Okay. Okay, I think that is basically back to status quo ante. It's imprecise, obviously. I'm just doing my best here. But I think it's pretty damn close to what I had in the saddlebags before I lost the thing. Okay, so I'll put that on him. And yeah, I mean, like for example, I'm still short on. I had a what did I have? I had a cooking pot on him. Alright, let's head back. Okay, that'll solve the problem. I'll be more careful with my elk from now on. Okay, I'm going to inspect this pond here and see if it's suitable to build the pirate ship. Okay. Now is this suitable? Could be. I think it could be. The only other option within reasonable distance is up here. Oh, I should go. Well, it's very dark tonight. But I was gonna say I should go harvest the fruit trees. I think they're probably about ready. Actually, I can almost already tell this. Will you guys indulge me? I'm gonna set time 0.
And of course, every Sunday with a hot live stream, everyone's favorite food, unless you're a cannibalistic dragon.
There we go. Yeah, I can already kind of tell this is the better location for the pirate ship. And does this connect up to my river that goes home? Yes, it does. Well, it connects to this river. And this river, I think, connects all the way around to this river. So I could have a boat. I could put a boat launch down here. That would probably be fine. And then this would connect up here. I like this pond better. The problem is I don't have oceans in this world, but that won't stop me for sure. Okay. Let's get our pink apples. This is cool. Finally get some apples going. One second, I have to eat a couple bites of this chicken real quick.
House of the Dragon really has dropped a lot of references to A Song of Ice and Fire Deep lore already here in Season 2, a lot in Episode 1, and perhaps even more in the behind-the-scenes material that came out after Episode
1 second.
I mean, I'm not even going to make a video about playing this movie, scribbling so many specific visions that I had a chance to scribble into the wall that they showed us only behind the scenes. They to see everything from the Blood Cheese murder to another future event on the Dragon, but I won't spoil all too soon. Unique story timeline, like Daenerys had dragons, King Robert, the Red Wedding, and so I totally would make a video about that, except for the gray area. Notice these things first, and already made a great video about it. Like, so just go watch the video. But today we're going to talk about 2 pages of a House of the Dragon 12 book, which refer to Dany's Valyrian identity. And yes, it tells us that Dany is the previous queen of Valyria, documented in Valyria was very young. The day before she had the dream, the night before she went Valerion has the dream of the dream. Now, technically, whatever the show does, House of the Dragon is show canon, separate from book canon. However, I think we have many reasons to be confident that this is an easier reference. And we don't have to be able to explain that. The Valerian.
Okay, so I think what I'll do... How long have we been on? 140? I think I'll end the stream here. I'm going to do some... Now that I've got my elk back, I'm going to do some tasks around my place, kind of keep it chill, and we'll join back up at another time. Thanks for watching.